Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So let's say you are told to show this. So immediately you look at a question that looks like this. Just think 105 is not a special angle, 15 is not a special angle. So you need to find two special angles which you can subtract or add. In this case, using 150, let's say you say 150 degrees minus your 45, you are going to get 105. Using your sine of 15 is the same as 45 degrees minus 30. That means you haven't changed anything because it will give you a 15. So this gives us the sine of, you have your 150 degrees minus your 45 degrees will give you the sine of 105. So you are showing using the left hand side to come up with that answer. Then you have minus your sine of 15 is the same as 45 degrees minus 30 degrees, like that. So remembering that the sine of A minus B is equivalent to sine A cosine. So sine of A is, sine is not selfish, so it will be connected with cos. Then cos of B, like that. Cos of B minus, if the sign is negative, that means it's a sine already. You are saying sine, the sign will not change. Cos of A, sine of your B, like that. In this case, what we are going to have is that we have the sine of 150. We can just fill in sine of 150. So we have the sine of A, which is 150 degrees. Then we have the cos of our B, which is 45 degrees, minus the sine, the cos of A. So we have minus the cos of 150 degrees. Then the sine of our B, which is 45 degrees, like that. So that's the first part of it. So with this, we can be able to say we have minus here, so we can just say minus, open the bracket so that you don't make any mistakes. Sine of your 45, you are replacing 45. Then you have your cosine of the next one, which is your 30, like that. Then there is a sign, it's a sign, so this one change. Now for me, you can do this, but for me, since I don't have enough space, I can just get this and say minus, like that. So I have my minus, it will be cos. Now you are interchanging cos of A, which is 45 degrees. Then you have your sine of B, which is your 30 degrees, like that. So this gives us what is our sine of 115 degrees. So first let's say we have that sine of 115. Looking at the special triangle 150, remember you are going to use the knowledge that you gathered on reference angles. So this is the angle, like that. So if this is 150, the remaining will be 30 degrees for you to make 180. So you have your 30 degrees, remembering the special triangle that has 30 degrees looks like this. So we have 60 here, 30. Now since you have to have a common number, which is a 3, so you're going to have root 3 there. This is just a way of remembering. So this gives you sine of 150 is equal to, now using the reference angle, the remaining angle is 30. So 30 is equal to opposite for sine, which is your 1 over your hypotenuse, which is 2. Sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So it will be 1 over your 2, where the sine of 150 is. Then the cosine of 45, if you look at the cosine of 45, the triangle looks like this. 45 has got two values, 45 degrees, 45 degrees. The opposite sides on both sides is 1 and 1. Then here we have the root of 2, like that. So this cos of 45 will be opposite, which is your 1 over the hypotenuse, which is this value, the root of 2, like that. You can watch a special angle video if you don't know how to come up with these angles. So you have, we are here minus, what is our cos of 150? Cos of 150 Now here you need to be careful. Cos of 150, this is the first quadrant, this is the second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. 150 is in the second quadrant and cos is negative in the second quadrant. So you are going to send open brackets negative whatever value you will find, but you are still using the same reference angle. Cos of 30 is adjacent, which will be your root of 3. So you are going to say negative your root of 3 over hypotenuse, which is a 2, like that. With that said, you are going to close like that. Then multiply this by the sine. I can just even not close there. Then I'll multiply by my sine of 45. Sine of 45 and cos of 45 is the same value, which is your 1 over the root of 2. Others, if you want, you can use root 2 over 2. It's still the same value, but just conjugated. So with this done, so this is just this part, the top part. This is just the top part, but we are supposed to subtract. It's just that my screen is not giving me enough space, so I'll be able to subtract with this. So let me evaluate this. So this will be 1 by 1 is 1 over 2 by that, it will be 2 root of 2. Then we have negative by negative is positive. We have the root of 3 over 2 by that, it will be 2 root of 2, like that. So with this done, we are going to get our value, which will be equal to minus, remember the sine of 45, so we have this value. Let me just grab it. Cos of a sine of 45 is 1 over root 2, like that. Cos of 30 is, cos of 30, when you look at this, cos of 30 is root 3 over 2, which will be positive, root 3 over 2, like that. Then we are here, minus the cos of 45. Cos of 45 is the same as 1 over the root of our 2, like that. Then the sine of 30 is equal to opposite, which is 1 over the hypotenuse 2. So we have 1 over 2, like that. From here, just be able to simplify things now. So this gives us 1 over 2 root of 2. Just be careful. There's no need for you to add this and this because you have similar numbers. You will see how it will play out. So we have plus our root of 3 over 2 root of 2 minus, we have the 1 by root 3, it will be root 3 over 2 root of 2, like that. 1 by 1 is equal to 1, so it will be minus 1 over our 2 root of 2, like that. From here, open the bracket, so we have here, we have 1 over 2 root of 2 plus root 3 over 2 root of 2. This by this, it will be minus root of 3 over 2 root of 2, like that. We are opening, then this by this, it will be positive. By doing that thing, it will prevent you from making mistakes. So you have plus 1 over the 2 root of 2. Don't try this at home. So we have the negative positive. Just think of it as this is being cancelled, but don't cancel, you're subtracting. So that is the same as having 0 there. Then all you have to do is add 1 over 2 root of 2 plus 1 over 2 root of 2, like that. From here, add these 2. So the common denominator is 2 roots 2. 2 roots 2 divided by this is 1 times 1, it will be 1, plus our, this divided by this is 1 times 1, it will be 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2 over our 2 root of 2, like that. So this and this cancels, so this gives us 1 over the root of 2, like that. So this is hence shown. I hope this video was helpful. Kindly like, comment so that my video can reach a broader audience. See you in the next tutorial.